Hey guys, thank you for tuning in to my channel. I really appreciate the people that have subscribed to it and the people that have contacted me regarding questions, concerns, support, feedback. And just for the ones that do not who I am, I was on the documentary that Vice did called Kentucky Ayahuasca. I was one of the participants in the premiere in the first episode. The also the episodes will be aired on Vice on national TV, so that's pretty cool. Um, like I said, a lot of people have contacted me regardless, the experience and people that actually want to try it. So I'm here just to answer some quick questions that I've gotten and from different people, but they're very similar questions. A lot of people that have having issues, with anxiety, with depression, with PTSD, with just fear, with a lot of things, that they have talked to me about, and I've been trying to help them, not just simply encouraging them to like take ayahuasca, but actually explore their mind a little bit, question their thinking, and see exactly what they need to do to like move, because a lot of people are fearful, not of the experience of the ayahuasca experience, but in their lives in general, and for me to actually be able to give any advice, I mean, I don't feel qualified. I'm not a psychologist. I'm not a doctor, but I do feel like I can talk from my own experience. The things that I had in my life happened, and I feel like a lot of people feel like their experience is unique, But at the end of the day, it only feels unique to us because we're actually going through it. But at the end of the day, we're all experiencing the same thing one way or another, regardless of your race, regardless of your social status, regardless of where you're from, regardless of your nationality or your culture. We're all experience pain, we all experience pleasure, happiness, sadness, hate. We all experience these things. We just have to acknowledge them and not push them away. Especially the things that we feel like they're not us. Uh, so having said that, um, I want to encourage people to do their homework, do their research before they engage into any entheogens, because you might have a bad experience, and you might jump to conclusions, especially if you're not informed about like what what are these things supposed to do for you. And if you're not informed, if you just jump into this, you might have, like you might have a traumatic experience, and instead of actually helping it, you might even get worse, or you might even like assume things. And when we assume things, we just make fools out of ourselves, So having said that, a lot of people have contacted me like, it has ayahuasca, or will ayahuasca kill me? No, ayahuasca, well, it would kill you, or there's a chance that it will kill you if you're taking medication. All right. For you to engage, if you want to do an ayahuasca ceremony, you need to go see a doctor first, or your pharmacist, or your therapist, or whoever is giving you medical prescriptions, and you tell them, hey, I want to do a ceremony with ayahuasca. I heard so many good things about it. I did research, and I feel like this might help me with my depression, with my anxiety, with whatever you think you're suffering from, you know, and they will tell you exactly how long you need to stop taking your medication and how safely it is for you to stop taking medication. So just look into that first. I mean, I cannot give you an exact answer on that. I feel like there's a lot of places where you can go, which I will list the websites, and I will actually try to take direct you to the right sources where you can actually ask these people that are more experienced than myself. Uh, Another question is if you're gonna go crazy. Let me go more into like the philosophical aspect of it, and well, I have experienced insanity to a certain extent with or experienced dark thoughts, very dark thoughts when I'm in these states of mind. Um, with ayahuasca, I did experience some malevolent thoughts, and they were scary, but I got through them. You know, I mean, I knew exactly what they were, and I was able to cope. I was able to to walk within those realms, and I'm not gonna get in specific, especially how I was able to do that, but there was something or someone telling me how to ride those waves. And with psilocybin, magic mushrooms, I had exactly the same thing happening. There was literally part of me where saw this line between being sane and being insane. And it's a very scary line because it's very thin, and if you cross it, you feel like you're going crazy. But I feel like it's just fear to a certain extent. It's your own fear, your own attachment that you have. So if you embrace it, and if you go with it, and if you embrace that darkness, if you embrace that fear, I feel like you can learn a lot. You will have a lot of insight. And now let's go into the scientific factor. You know, or yeah, like scientific factor. Um, there has been research where they say psychedelics are able to trigger something that's already in your mind. That's just a matter of time for it to develop. It can be schizophrenia, or it can be psychosis, or something like that. Um, so yes, if you have a chance, or if you have some sort of family history, I will go ahead and consult with a, I don't know, psychiatrist or a psychologist or someone that might be able to tell you if you're safe. Maybe they can do some sort of study for you to actually see if these psychedelics might trigger something that you might not be aware of. All right, and let's not confuse that with some insights or some things that you might experience later on after the ceremony. Because myself, after I did the ceremony, you know, I I dreamed, and I kept hearing voices. I couldn't make sense of what the voices were telling me, but I could hear them. Did I freak out? No, I was like, okay, I'm guessing I might be tapping into something else, some sort of other type of consciousness. I mean, I'm still sane, I'm very productive. I I take care of what I need to take care of. I I'm pretty pretty good, I mean, I don't consider myself crazy. So having said that, just don't confuse those things with madness, with that you're going crazy. I mean, don't get paranoid. If you're able to carry yourself, to function, I feel like you should be okay. Now, if you feel there's an extreme side that you're not able to handle, or I don't know, personally I have not experienced psychosis or schizophrenia. I feel like, if I experienced something like that, I would definitely know, and I would have to get myself checked. But just check your family history and check with your psychiatrist, psychologist, and see if that see how propense you are to actually trigger something while you're on psychedelics, especially mushrooms and ayahuasca or LSD. Personally, I have not tried LSD, but I have tried ayahuasca and mushrooms, magic mushrooms. So just check that out before you actually engage with any entheogens. Um, another question was, where can I do these ceremonies? Well, you can go to Ayaquest, just Google it, Ayaquest. I'll put the websites and everything on the description. And they were asking me, where can I look for more information? Um, like I said, I will put as much information as I can on the description. But usually I listen to Terrence McKenna. He passed away, a few years ago. He had a lot of insight on psychedelics. His brother Dennis McKenna, which is still alive, he still does a lot of podcasts, and he has very good articles and research. Paul Statements is one of the guys that I usually listen to as well. Joe Rogan, of course, he has a whole bunch of people on when it comes to psychedelics and all these substances. Aubrey Marcus has very good articles on that. There's also Instagram pages that you can look into. Um, there's Psychedelic Save Lives, the Psychedelic Anthology. Um, there's another one, but I forgot which one it is. Death by Astonishment. I think they're almost intertwined. Death by Astonishment and the Psychedelic Anthology. They're owned by the same people. So just look into that. Also, the book, the Psychedelic Anthology, it has series of volumes already published, so you can look into those. And I'm gonna be featuring the third series that's coming out actually today. So I will do a little bit more review on that, but that has a lot of experiences from people that have experienced breakthroughs, or like they experience other things when they're in psychedelics. So I would just go ahead and look into those books, and Graham Hancock has a lot of things as well, and there's many sources that you can look into, and they're very educated people that are able to articulate experiences and the science behind all those things better than me. I feel like they have helped me a lot, especially engaging with these entheogens, because there's a lot of bad rep out there when it comes to like these substances. And I feel like, man, it's way off sometimes. Like the way I thought about these things before was way different than what I think about them right now. So like I said before, it's not a quick fix. It's not something that's all of a sudden wanna make you quote unquote enlightened. I feel like you have to do the work. You have to understand what they're telling you. You have to digest everything that they're saying, and you're not gonna do that in a matter of a day or 2 days. It's gonna take you months, probably. It's gonna take you years for you to like understand the message. But the feeling itself, I mean, it's gonna stay with you, especially when you remember it. It's gonna feel fucking beautiful. You're like, oh yeah, I remember this, and it's amazing. That's all I can say. I'm a big fan. Of course, there's other ways. I also meditate. I do breathing exercises, and I work out a lot, so that helps. to actually take care of yourself, not just mentally but physically, you know. So I will just go ahead and put all the information on this video. If you guys have any more questions, I will definitely go ahead and post more stuff, or like just message me or something. You guys have my Instagram, which is at Mora, Mora Chronicles, and my other account, which is from a podcast, is called at Culture Chronicles. And of course, I have my podcast on iTunes, on Google Play, and what's the other one? Stitcher. So you guys can look at that. It's not. I don't only talk about psychedelics. I talk about philosophy. I talk about religion. I talk about science. I talk about politics. I talk about social movements. I talk about fashion. I talk about a series of things. Not just and not just psychedelics. I feel like you have to explore many things in life, and you can't be attached to one subject. So and the only difference when I talk about these subjects is that I go very deep into consciousness. So let's go ahead and wrap it up. And if you guys have any questions, like I said, just hit me up, man, and I'll be happy to help you. And I will be releasing, of course, a podcast today as well. It's called Conscious Fashion, and it's about the fashion industry. There's a guy that I interview. His name is Gabriel Miller, and he's a local fashion entrepreneur, you know, and he just blew my mind about fashion, you know. So you guys check out the podcast, and keep in touch. Have a safe weekend, and I hope you guys take care of yourselves. Be easy, and like I said, check all the links that I will be putting on the video. All right, peace out.